There is a certain power that comes with independence, a strength that cannot be easily understood unless you've walked that path yourself. The longer a woman has been without a relationship, the stronger she becomes. Not because she is lacking, but because she has learned to thrive without external validation. She doesn't need a partner to know her worth. She is enough, just as she is. Embracing independence is a journey of discovering one's true strength and resilience. It is the process of learning to stand tall without the need for external validation or support, and understanding that your worth is not defined by anyone else's presence in your life. For a woman who has spent time without a relationship, this independence becomes a powerful force. It is not a place of isolation, but a space of growth, self-reliance, and empowerment. When you are alone, you are forced to face yourself, to understand your own needs, dreams, and desires without the distraction of someone else's opinions or expectations. This can be uncomfortable at first, but over time, it becomes the foundation upon which confidence is built. You begin to trust yourself more, make decisions based on your own values, and prioritize your well-being without guilt. You realize that you don't need someone to complete you. You are already whole. In embracing independence, a woman learns how to fill her own cup. She becomes her own best friend, her own source of encouragement. She celebrates her victories, no matter how small, and holds herself accountable for her actions, all while acknowledging that her worth does not fluctuate based on her relationship status. She no longer looks outward for reassurance or approval. Instead, she finds comfort in her own presence, knowing that she is enough just as she is. Independence also fosters emotional strength. It's easy to rely on a partner to handle difficult emotions, but when faced with adversity alone, a woman develops the inner strength to manage her feelings and navigate challenges with resilience. She learns to solve her own problems, make decisions with confidence, and trust that she can handle whatever life throws at her. This emotional independence becomes a source of freedom, allowing her to move through life with grace and poise, knowing that she is capable of taking care of herself. Being independent doesn't mean shutting others out. Rather, it means knowing that your happiness is not contingent on anyone else's presence. It is about being comfortable in your own skin, finding joy in your own company, and understanding that you are whole with or without a partner. Independence gives a woman the power to live life on her own terms, to pursue her passions, and to create the future she desires, all while remaining true to herself. Healing and transformation are deeply intertwined processes that emerge when a woman spends time without a relationship. These moments of solitude are often seen as a period of vulnerability, but in truth, they offer an incredible opportunity for growth. When you are not defined by the expectations of others or the dynamics of a relationship, you are left with the space to heal from past wounds, face unresolved pain, and ultimately transform into a stronger, more empowered version of yourself. The process of healing begins with self-awareness. Without the distraction of seeking approval or validation from a partner, a woman is able to confront the emotional baggage she may have been carrying for years. Whether it's past heartbreak, unhealed trauma, or lingering self-doubt, these experiences no longer define her. Instead, she is given the time and energy to process those emotions, to grieve, to forgive, and most importantly, to release. This emotional release is the first step toward transformation. It's only when a woman allows herself to feel and heal that she can break free from the constraints of her past and begin the process of becoming who she is meant to be. Transformation in this context is not just about letting go of pain. It's about redefining the way a woman sees herself and her future. Without the noise of a relationship, she starts to recognize her own worth, something that may have been overshadowed before. She begins to understand her true desires, dreams, and passions. She allows herself to explore what truly excites her, without the pressure of fitting into someone else's vision for her life. The absence of a relationship provides the necessary clarity to rediscover what it means to live authentically without compromise. As healing takes place, a woman begins to realize that she has been whole all along. She doesn't need another person to complete her, but rather to complement her. This realization is a powerful part of her transformation. She sheds the limiting beliefs she once had about love, relationships, and her own potential. She learns to trust herself more deeply, to value her own strength, and to build a life that aligns with her true self. This transformation is not a quick or easy process. It is a gradual unfolding that requires patience, self-compassion, and the courage to look within. But in time, the woman who emerges from this journey is more resilient, more self-aware, and more aligned with her purpose. Through healing and transformation, she becomes the version of herself she was always meant to be: strong, independent, and ready to embrace the future with a newfound sense of confidence and self-love. Building a stronger identity is a transformative journey that unfolds when a woman is given the space to be alone and reflect on who she truly is without the influence or expectations of a relationship. Without the distractions of external validation or the roles she may play in a partnership, she is forced to focus on herself, her values, desires, and passions. This process of self-discovery allows her to reclaim her identity, shifting from being defined by her relationship status to being defined by her essence. At the core of building a stronger identity is the process of self-acceptance. When a woman is no longer seeking approval from others, she starts to realize that her worth is not contingent on someone else's recognition. She begins to appreciate her own unique qualities, understanding that she doesn't need to change or adapt to fit into someone else's life. The more she embraces her true self, the more she finds the confidence to express her authenticity. She stops hiding parts of herself out of fear of judgment and begins to live in alignment with her core values. A key aspect of building a stronger identity is taking the time to evaluate one's beliefs and desires. In relationships, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters to us as we often adopt the desires and priorities of our partners. However, when a woman spends time without a relationship, she is able to reconnect with her own passions, her own goals, and her own dreams. She is no longer swayed by the desires of others, but instead becomes focused on what she truly wants out of life. This clarity of purpose strengthens her identity, allowing her to move forward with confidence and determination. Furthermore, as a woman builds a stronger identity, she becomes more grounded in her boundaries and self-respect. She learns the importance of saying no when something does not align with her values and saying yes to opportunities that nourish her growth. She understands that she is deserving of respect, kindness, and honesty, and that she must first offer those things to herself before expecting them from anyone else. As she strengthens her identity, she also strengthens her ability to form healthier, more authentic relationships in the future. This process of building a stronger identity is not instantaneous. It is a gradual unfolding that takes time and patience. Through introspection and growth, a woman finds the courage to live boldly and unapologetically. She begins to realize that her worth is inherent and her identity is something she shapes, not based on anyone else's influence, but by her own truth and self-belief. Finding joy in solitude is a profound experience that becomes increasingly powerful the longer a woman remains without a relationship. While society often associates solitude with loneliness, the truth is that solitude provides an opportunity to discover a deep and fulfilling connection with oneself. It is in these quiet moments of being alone that a woman learns to experience joy, not from external sources, but from within. She begins to realize that happiness does not have to come from being surrounded by others or being in a relationship, but can be cultivated through self-acceptance, mindfulness, and self-love. At first, solitude can feel uncomfortable. It may bring up feelings of loneliness or uncertainty, especially if one has been used to being in a relationship. However, this discomfort often gives way to an incredible sense of peace and clarity as a woman learns to enjoy her own company. She starts to understand that being alone does not mean being empty. It simply means she has the freedom to engage with life on her own terms. The absence of a partner allows her to explore the activities, hobbies, and passions that bring her true joy without compromise or the need for approval from anyone else. Solitude also provides the space for reflection and self-discovery. In the quiet moments, a woman can listen to her own thoughts, understand her emotions, and explore what truly matters to her. She learns to appreciate the small things in life, the simple pleasures that are often overlooked when distracted by the demands of a relationship. Whether it's taking a walk in nature, reading a book, or enjoying a cup of tea, these moments of solitude become an opportunity to reconnect with what makes her feel content, fulfilled, and truly alive. The beauty of finding joy in solitude is that it nurtures emotional independence. A woman who is comfortable being alone is not dependent on others to make her feel good about herself. She doesn't need constant affirmation or validation from outside sources. Instead, she learns to cultivate her own sense of happiness and well-being. In solitude, she discovers that she is her own best companion and that she has the ability to create her own sense of joy and fulfillment. This internal peace becomes a foundation upon which she can build a more balanced, contented life, whether or not she is in a relationship. As she embraces solitude, a woman realizes that joy is not something to be found in another person, but something that resides within her all along. She begins to cherish the time she spends with herself, knowing that it is an essential part of her growth and happiness. Solitude transforms from a place of loneliness to a sanctuary of peace where she can truly thrive. Rewriting the narrative of love is an essential shift that occurs when a woman has spent time without a relationship. For too long, society has conditioned us to believe that love is the ultimate goal, the thing that completes us, and that without it, we are somehow lacking. But when a woman stands alone, she begins to see that love is not something that defines her or her worth. Instead, it is an experience that should enrich her life, not fill a void. The longer she remains without a relationship, the more she redefines what love truly means and how it fits into her life. In the absence of a partner, a woman learns to understand that love isn't about waiting for someone to fulfill her or make her happy. It's about cultivating love within herself first. This self-love, this deep understanding of her own worth becomes the foundation upon which all other relationships are built. She no longer seeks validation from a partner to feel whole, because she has already discovered her own value. By rewiring her beliefs, she realizes that being in a relationship is a choice, not a necessity, and that true love starts from within. Rewriting the narrative also involves shifting the way love is perceived. Instead of focusing on a romanticized, idealized version of love, she begins to see love as something that should be balanced, healthy, and fulfilling. She learns that love is not about sacrifice or losing oneself for the sake of another. It's about mutual respect, growth, and emotional support. When a woman experiences love this way, she no longer tolerates unhealthy dynamics or relationships that undermine her sense of self. She understands that love should add to her life, not take away from it. As she rewrites the narrative, she also discovers that being single doesn't mean being incomplete. Rather, it's a chance for her to focus on her personal growth, her goals, and her dreams. She learns that her happiness and fulfillment do not rely on being in a relationship. Instead, they come from living authentically, pursuing her passions, and being at peace with who she is. This mindset shift empowers her to create a love story that aligns with her true self, not with the societal expectations of what love should look like. Ultimately, the longer a woman spends without a relationship, the clearer her understanding of love becomes. She redefines it as a choice, an experience that must come from a place of self-awareness and self-love. Through this process, she creates a new narrative of love, one that is grounded in mutual respect, personal growth, and authentic connection. This new understanding of love transforms her approach to relationships, allowing her to build meaningful, healthy partnerships that are rooted in equality and shared values. Empowerment through patience is a lesson that often unfolds when a woman spends time alone and outside of a relationship. In a world that values instant gratification, waiting and taking the time to heal, grow, and discover one's true self can seem counterintuitive. However, when a woman embraces patience, she begins to realize that true empowerment doesn't come from rushing or forcing things to happen. It comes from trusting the process, allowing life to unfold at its own pace, and knowing that everything will align in due time. Patience in solitude teaches a woman to cultivate a deeper sense of self-control and resilience. Instead of feeling pressure to jump into the next relationship or pursue something that isn't right for her, she learns the value of waiting for the right opportunities, people, and circumstances to present themselves. In this waiting, she builds strength, as it requires an immense amount of emotional discipline to resist the urge to settle or act impulsively. She realizes that by being patient, she is honoring her own worth and not compromising on the standards and boundaries she has set for herself. This patience also empowers her to take control of her own growth and healing. Rather than seeking fulfillment from external sources or relying on a partner to fix her, she focuses on herself. She uses the time alone to invest in her emotional well-being, to understand her past, and to work through any unresolved feelings or wounds. This process takes time and cannot be rushed, but the woman who is patient with herself during this phase becomes emotionally stronger and more self-aware. She learns that healing is not linear and that giving herself grace and time to heal properly is an act of empowerment. Empowerment through patience also teaches her the value of self-reliance. She realizes that her happiness does not depend on others, but on her ability to create a fulfilling life for herself. Patience gives her the opportunity to focus on her passions, goals, and personal growth. She doesn't need a partner to validate her achievements or dreams. Instead, she learns to celebrate her own successes and find joy in her own progress. As she nurtures her own growth, she becomes more confident in her ability to create the life she desires without relying on anyone else's timeline or expectations. In the end, the patience she develops in solitude becomes a form of empowerment that enables her to move forward with clarity, purpose, and confidence. She no longer feels rushed to find love, success, or validation. Instead, she trusts that by being patient with herself and the process, she is creating a stronger, more fulfilled version of herself, ready to embrace what life has to offer when the time is right. This journey of patience, growth, and self-discovery is one of the most empowering paths a woman can walk. By embracing the quiet moments, resisting the urge to rush, and trusting in her own ability to navigate life on her own terms, she becomes more than just a survivor. She becomes the architect of her own destiny. With each passing day, she strengthens her foundation, and in time, she stands not only empowered by patience, but also enriched by the wisdom gained through it. When the time is right, she will find that the life she has patiently built will be the one that brings her true fulfillment, peace, and the strength to embrace whatever comes next.